Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Tuesday, the 23rd of September 2025. In today's Meal News, we shall start off with this. Whoops. Tickets. Anyone got any tickets? Tickets for Queen's Park Rangers away game will go on sale tomorrow, and it's the same old situation, much like the Charlton and the Crystal Palace tickets, although you do have to wonder, will it be as highly sought after? See, the Queen's Park Rangers game was a London game when we didn't have the London games that we have this season. Charlton have joined us in the Championship finally, before they go back to League One next season. We drew Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, so we've already had two away London games. Is there going to be the stampede that there usually is for this game? I'm not sure. I think there will be. Because they haven't given us a lot. So I imagine, there'll still be people interested. Even with the high prices for the restricted views. So Mill travel to Queen's Park Rangers in the Sky Bet Championship on Saturday the 18th of October. Kickoff is at 12:30 p.m. and tickets will go on sale to season ticket holders with 630 more loyalty points from 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. So tomorrow, 630 or more. Thursday, 9:30 a.m. same time, 610 or more. On Friday, 590 or more season ticket holders only. I don't think it's technically possible if you're a member to get, if you buy a ticket for every game, you would have 230. So yeah, I don't think it's possible. On Monday the 29th at 9:30 a.m, season ticket holders who have 570 or more. So they're dropping it by 20 points each time. 6:30 tomorrow, 6:10 on Thursday, 590 on Friday, 570 on Monday. On Tuesday, 560 or less. So all other season ticket holders. So if you go and buy a season, literally, if you've had a season ticket for a couple of years, or you just go out and buy one now, you all go in the queue Tuesday the 30th of September, 9:30 a.m. So there you go. And that should be fun. And I would imagine that this is the day. Tuesday would be the day that they run out. Because wait till we get to the end where we tell you how many they've given us. So that's Tuesday. So on Wednesday, the 1st of October, which is the same day as the Coventry home game, but 9:30 in the morning, it's to members who have 130 or more. It's not going to get there. Any tickets remaining will go to 110 or more on Thursday the 2nd. Any tickets remaining, there won't be. Friday the 3rd, 9:30 a.m. to 100 or less. So all other members, Friday the 3rd of October. So there you go. These are your options. Figure out in which position you are and make your plans accordingly. So tickets are in the upper, it's £39, upper tier gold, upper tier restricted view gold. They give you a £2 discount for the neck ache of going left and right, trying to see what you're seeing. And then in silver, it's £33. So here's the thing that they do, which, yeah, they have different prices based on where you are, but there's no barrier, I don't think. So you can just walk along. You can buy the cheaper ticket and then just walk over to the other ticket. Like, it's annoying, isn't it? They haven't given us any lower tickets though. Previous years, I believe they've given us lower tickets, so that might be the missing tickets. So yeah, we have an allocation, not an initial allocation, just an allocation of 1,764 tickets, which is nothing really, is it? Well, it depends on the context, doesn't it? In terms of tickets for QPR, away is nothing. In terms of like the boat people who arrived today, that's a lot, But there you go. There is, of course, no coach travel for this fixture. That's all in capitals. So yeah, there you go. Now, moving on to some post-match comments. Obviously, the game was yesterday night. We did get some post-match comments yesterday. We got a rest today, all from the Southern News, of course. So Mill bottom why second half switch to back three stemmed the flow in Watford win. Alex Neil thinks switching to a back three in the second half of Mill's 1-0 win against Watford stemmed the flow and helped the Lions see out the game. Mill took an early lead after Camille Negley curled a free kick past Egil Selvik and had several chances to double their lead in the first half via Josh Coburn and Jake Cooper. The Hornets looked more dangerous in the second half and sustained heavy pressure around the Lions box around the hour mark. Neil opted to make a triple change shortly after, introducing centre-back Caleb Taylor and striker Macaulay Langstaff for winners Camille Negley and Turno Ballo, switching from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-5-2. At the same time, left-back Zach Search replaced Joe Bryan, who was on the yellow card. Mill's head coach thought that his side looked much improved after the switch. Oh, absolutely. I think that stemmed the flow. If you like, I thought it kept the game in front of us. It allowed us to go and defend our box, which we are great at, and it was only really a set play that caused us an issue, which it probably shouldn't have, by the way. My frustration was the fact that, I was trying to change it 5 minutes before that. And I think the lads came on in the 75th minute. I was trying to do it at 70. Ado was the first sub due to the fact that he was on well at half time, but we managed to get ourselves through it, didn't we? So all's well that ends well. Part 2. Alex Neil-Brand's second half penalty snub, a horrific decision after Mill's 1-0 win over Watford. Now here's the thing. How long has he been manager? Since December the 30th? So what, 9 months? I don't think I've ever seen him come out go mention decisions. He's pretty zen about it. It's like, some you get, some you don't. Yeah, could have. He's a bit more like, what can we control? We should have done what we could do better. But I think this is the first time he's mentioned a decision. So, take that as you will. Alex Neil branded referee Josh Smith's decision to not award Mill an 82nd minute penalty against Watford a horrific decision. With the Lions leading 1-0, Tristan Kramer chipped the ball over the Hornets' defence and Macaulay Langstaff turned Kevin Gaben, took the ball down and then burst in the penalty area before appearing to be dragged down. Smith waved Mill's vigorous complaints away and chose not to award a spot kick, a decision Neil criticised in his post-match press conference despite his side eking out a 1-0 win. A horrific decision. I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I apologise, but I thought it was a horrific decision. So there you go. He did say it, but then he kind of quantified it afterwards, saying, I thought it was the clearest penalty I've ever seen. He gets to the wrong side of the lad, and there's nothing you can say about it. It's not even as if it's a wrestle. He takes it down, rolls away from him, he's wrong-sided, he brings him down. It's a penalty and a red card, and the game probably looks very different for the last 15 minutes of the match. But we didn't get the decision, so yeah, we move on. So there you go. I agree. Mentioned in yesterday's video, what he did, the Watford guy, he grabbed Langstaff's arm, yanked it, and then let go within half a second. So it looked like nothing had happened. It's like you blink and you miss it, so maybe the referee blinked and he missed it. I guess if you don't see it, you can't give it. So if he blinked and he missed it, maybe. But there you go. Now moving on to the third of the post-match comments. This is about an injury update. We could be getting them back. They're coming back, lads. They're coming back. This is southernnews.co.uk, of course. Alex Neil suggests Billy Mitchell could be back for Swansea and confirms another Mill absentee is back in training. The boys are back in town. Do. Billy Mitchell will probably, in quotes, be in Mill's matchday squad for their away trip to Swansea this Saturday, September the 27th, Alex Neil said. Mitchell, 24, had been absent since the Lions' 3-0 loss to Middlesbrough on August 16th with a quad injury, but returned to training in the past week. In his absence, Massimo Longo and Derek Mazusako started in midfield as the Lions beat Watford 1-0 on Monday, September the 22nd. After the game, Neil suggested several players are close to returning to first-team availability. Oh, yeah, maybe he'll be on the bench at that point, Neil said when asked by the News at Den if Mitchell will be available for Swansea. A lot of the lads are back training. It's actually quite frustrating just now because I've got Femi training, I've got Billy training, and there's a lot back training. It's just they're not quite ready to be in the matchday squads. Billy will probably make the squad at the weekend, and touch wood, we haven't got any more injuries tonight. The rest of them should be okay as well that played tonight. So that's it. So if Billy goes on the bench, who goes off of the bench? Howland? Grant? Because you've got Taylor and you've got Callum Taylor, you've got Grant, you've got Harding, although Leonard's injured, so Harding might start or at least needs to be on the bench. Like if Bangor Williams has got beat out. Like some people just like, why isn't he even starting? So probably Howland, I would imagine. He played well today, and they've got a game on Friday, the under-21s. So maybe it's that. Okay. So they're coming back, lads. They're coming back. So, we struggled through it. We've got all these injuries, and the players are coming back. And hopefully we'll start winning a few games more easily than we did this game. Because it was a hell of a slog, wasn't it? It wasn't easy to watch. It's kind of like the old days where we went 1-0 up, and then it would be all guns, all guns unblazing, all guns at the back. Defend, and a bit more defending, which Harris did, and to some extent Rowett did as well. You nick a goal and you just sit back. But Gaffer, it's we're in the 40th minute. Yeah, let's defend for 60 minutes. So what the fuck? Madness. And of course it never worked, and we ended up conceding right at the end. You can't ask players. It takes a lot out of players physically and mentally to defend. So rigorously when you got maintain a 1-goal lead. It's not easy, is it? It's not easy. So as mentioned, there was an under-21 game today. It was a resounding win featuring the stars from the bench from yesterday. So they were on the bench yesterday. They start today because they didn't have any game time yesterday. So here we go. It was a 4-0 win. Mills under-21s beat Colchester United 4-0 in the Professional Development League at Calmont Road on Tuesday afternoon. Jack Howland and AJ Matthews both scored twice as the Lions eased to a second win of the 25-26 campaign. The game was less than 120 seconds old when Millwall took the lead as Howland finished a loose ball inside the box. Bosh. That's not it. That's AJ Matthews. That lead was doubled on 25 minutes as Matthews was fed on the edge of the area. The striker had no qualms in striking home, with the duo then sharing Mill's third and fourth goals within 3 minutes during the second half. First, Frankie Baker squared for Howland, who finished beyond the goalkeeper before Matthews guided home his second, following the Lions winning possession high up the field. Zach Lovelace, the lesser-spotted Lovelace, returned from injury to play the final half hour. Next up for Mill's under-21s is the visit of Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League Cup group stage on Friday night. Kick-off 7 p.m. More on that in a minute. So the team was George Evans, Beaumont, Drake, Mansour, Grant, Friedman, Howland, Bangor Williams, Matthews, Frankie Baker, Kendall, and the subs that came on: Forbes for Grant in the 61st minute, Whitby on for Bangor Williams in the 61st minute, Lovelace on for Kendall in the 61st minute, and Sugita Vieira on for Matthews in the 86th minute. The subs not used was the goalkeeper Lindner. So interesting, even though Grant and Bangor Williams was on the bench yesterday, they only played the 60 minutes, whereas Howland was on the bench yesterday. He played the full 90. And full 90 for Evans as well. They played him 70 minutes in the last game. A full 90 in this game. Good stuff. Good stuff. Easy 4-0 win. Bosh. So, Not now, not now. This is how the table stands. I don't think this is the right table. I'm not sure what's going on. It says it's the North table. They've mixed them together. We still don't know officially what's going on with the division because the Premier League haven't updated their website explaining the rules, even though they've changed the rules this year. So apparently the top 16 may be going through the playoffs, or it may be the top 16 based on the top 8 Northern teams and the top 8 Southern teams, even though it's just one division. Again, don't make no sense. So we either have to finish in the top 16, or we have to... There's 10 Northern teams, 10 Southern teams. So we either have to finish above 2 Southern teams. So either top 16 or above 2 Southern teams that will be below us. No idea which one it is. Hopefully someone can clarify it before the end of the season, because it's a bit confusing. So that's our second win of the season. 2 wins, 0 draws, 4 defeats. We beat Huddersfield, we beat Colchester. It's just they've had to play because of the injuries. There's not only are there massive injuries with the first team squad, but there's a lot of injuries in the under 21s as well. A lot of players have been missing. Lamptey's missing, Harry Taylor's missing, Jet Dyer's missing. We assume these players are injured because they don't tell us they're injured, but they are sometimes training. They train at Campbell Road. They train with the first team sometimes, so I think we found the problem. It must be the training ground at Calmont Road. You would assume that's the problem. I don't know. But if you've got the first team players getting injured, you've got under 21 players getting injured, what's the common denominator? It's the training ground. Surely. Maybe it's that. I don't know, but it keeps happening, and it's been happening a long time. It has been happening a hell of a long time. Another win, 2 wins in a row, good stuff. 2 home wins in a row. But it's just good to see, when you put Grant, Bangor, Williams, and Howland, they're good enough to play in the Championship. They played, and I don't think Howland's played in the Championship yet, has he? Played in the Cup. But the other 2, Bangor, Williams, Grant, they're quality players. So before, for the under 21s, we would put in like players coming back from injury, like Ben Thompson, Billy Mitchell would play for them, Sean Hutchinson would play for them. But now we're able to put in first team squad players who are actually under the age of 21, and they make a massive difference when they play for the under 21s, which is what you want to see. You want to see them go there and turn it on and put in a performance and prove, hey, look, this is what you want. Outstanding stuff. Although we do have a game on Friday, but there's a first team game on Saturday, so you do wonder who's going to play in that game. Will we go back to a weakened under 21 team? Now, if you haven't heard, did mention this before, I'm going to mention this again. This was from 5 days ago. Mill's under 21s have this year, for the first time, entered a competition called the Premier League Cup. Now, with the Premier League Cup, I think they're trying to push forward and make the Premier League Cup the under 21 version of the FA Youth Cup, because they make sure that all of the games that are played, it's a group stage and then it goes through to knockouts, that all of the games are played in the evening, 7 o'clock kickoff, which is the same as the FA Youth Cup, and at the stadiums, or at a stadium. Ours are being played at the Den. The teams that we're playing against, I think they're not being played. No, they're not. We'll get into that in a minute. So if you missed it, on Friday at 7 p.m, the under 21s are playing. Normally they're playing in the afternoon. They play in the front of a crowd of about between 100 and 200. Old men, unemployed, self-employed, people who work in football, agents, friends of the players, that kind of thing. This is your opportunity to support the under 21s. You've seen how good they are, how they play. They do step it up when they play at the Den. Every time you go down there, they put in the effort. They appreciate the fans being there, even though there's not that many there. this is a good chance to to support them, and it's very cheap. I was looking at bringing a friend to Watford, the game yesterday. A walk-up ticket for the West Upper, 42 quid. 42 quid. A ticket for this is £5. A quarter of the cost. £5. And it's £1 for under 16. But if you're an under 16 season ticket holder, you get in for free. Just show your card, you'll get in for free. So it costs you nothing to get in. And here's the thing. They've opened up the West Lower on the South Stand side. So the CBL, that side, but of the West Lower. What they do, so Harry's Bar will be open. So you go in, you buy your ticket at the ticket office, you walk round to Harry's Bar, you go into Harry's Bar, and then if you go into the seat, you have to walk through Harry's Bar, and there's a door there, you go through there into the ground, and you go to your seat. So Harry's Bar, we assume it will be open. Sometimes it's not, but I imagine for this they will have it open. So you can get a drink before kick-off, half-time. Even if you're not drinking, a Bovril, pretty chilly today, isn't it? I think it's going to get a little bit warmer, but there you go. So do support them as they do this, because if this picks up, if it catches, if the fans go a decent amount to make it worthwhile, they might put the league games on in the evening so people can go to them. You can, and it's worth, you've seen the improvement in the under 21s. The players in the first team are under 21. Ivanovic is under 21. There are a lot of, they're buying players in to improve that are under 21. So let's support them as they do this, and hopefully it kicks on. As mentioned, so this competition, the Premier League Cup, is a group stage thing. These are the fixtures. So that this Wolverhampton Wanderers under 21s at the Den, Friday 7 p.m. kickoff. The other games are now Swansea away is on Friday the 21st of November. So if you live out in Wales, that's going to be at the Youth Centre ground, which is to the north of the main stadium. Whatever it's called now. What is it called? I don't know. What did it used to be called? Vetchfield. No, Vetchfield is the old one that got knocked down, yeah? What's Swansea.com Stadium or something like that? I don't know what it's called, but the first team stadium, to the north of that, that's where the youth training ground is. They have seats there. You can go and watch the game. See, more details will come out in a month's time. The Wolves away game is on Monday the 8th of December, 7 p.m. So if you're in the Midlands, this is at Kidderminster Stadium. So Kidderminster Harriers. That's going to be played there. Again, you can go to the games. Please do. Go to the games. If you've never seen a Mill team at Kidderminster, have we played? We must have played them, though. They weren't in the league, though, were they? I don't think they've been in the league. I'm not sure. The Nottingham Forest away game is on Friday the 12th, 7 p.m. But it's not being played in Nottingham. It's being played in Loughborough University FC's ground. It's been played there. Nottingham Forest home game is at the Den on Tuesday the 16th, 7 p.m. kickoff. And here is a game. So this is the under 21s. Before Christmas. The first team are playing away on the Saturday before Christmas. So come down and support the under 21s. Because they are going to be playing at the Den, 1 p.m. the Saturday before Christmas. And this is the last group game. It's the 6th game. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to need a result. I don't think we're going to... Obviously, we're playing two Premier League teams and a Championship team. Under 21s. If we have already qualified by this game, it might be a bit of a damp squid, but I don't think we are. I think hopefully we're in a position where we need a win, or at least a point, in this Swansea game, at home, at the Den, on the Saturday before Christmas, to go to the next round, and that will make it, worth watching, worth going to for £5. But here's the thing. So the Blackburn Rovers away for the first team at 3 p.m. So I'm sure the club must have thought about this. It is in the future. It's a long way in the future. Well, not that long. I'm sure you've seen in the pubs now that they're already advertising Christmas stuff. I'm sure they're going to do a beanbag. They can't show the game using a VPN. That'll be a bit naughty. And obviously, some Wally's going to mention it if they do. Oh look, I watched the Millwall game at Millwall. It's going to be on social media because no one can keep their mouth shut these days. They all want to brag about everything they're doing. But they could do a beanbag. The only thing with that is the rules say you have to charge people for a beanbag and you have to split the money with Blackburn. So I think that's the rules. I don't know if they changed, but I think that's the rules. So they might do a thing where they charge a little bit more and you get the Swansea game and the beanbag all together. So you go down there at 1 o'clock and you walk out at 5 o'clock having watched Millwall U21s beat Swansea and Millwall beat Blackburn Rovers. How would that be? Happy Christmas, I should say. So yeah, that's what's going on with the under-21s. So yeah, just want to mention that. Again, if we go back up, if you can, I'm telling you, it will be worth it. Friday night at the Den, Wolverhampton Wanderers under-21s in 2 days, 20 hours, 45 minutes and 33 seconds. Only £5. Only £5. So that's it for the news for today. Obviously, we did play yesterday, so we've got some post-match stats. Now, obviously, the reason why you wait a day, these stats are live. If you watch the game on the television and come to this website, it's live. It's telling you all this stuff live. But what they do is once they get the full match replay, they use the computer to actually clean up the stats and make it, this player did head the ball, this guy did do that tackle. So it's after 24 hours, it's more accurate. So that's why we do this. So yeah, this is from whoscored.com. So Millwall were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from set pieces. Well, yeah, we scored from a free kick. We lost possession of them. We played with width. We had a large quantity of possession in our opponent's half, and we attacked down the left-hand side. Watford stole the ball often from the opposition, were effective at creating goal-scoring opportunities from long-shot situations, were poor at finishing, and thank God they were. Committed a high number of individual errors, favoured long shots, and dominated possession. So if you look on the right-hand side, you can see the top performers, the top 5, in rating, shots, tackles and dribbles. And just to bring home the point about we were effective from set pieces, the guy with the most shots for us is Jake Cooper. Obviously shots includes headed attempts as well. It's just a shot on goal, but it includes headers. 3 from Jake Cooper and 3 for Negley. The one from Josh Coburn, which of course he missed because it was about 5 yards out, although it wasn't a sitter really. He had to run onto it and make it a shot. It wasn't gifted to him really, but he did miss it again. Tackles, their guy had the most tackles. Now, don't see this often. Max Allen, their defensive centre back, he got the highest rating in a game in which they lost. You don't really see that often. So I think that kind of shows how badly we played, in that their defender got a higher score than any other player. Just though, Kramer 8.2, Allen 8.3, but you don't really see that often. So attempts on goal, 9 for us, 11 for them, 4 to 9 open play, 5 to 2 set piece. We had 5 set piece attempts, 0 counter attack, 0 penalties, 0 own goal. So 1 goal from 9 shots is an 11% conversion rate. That's standard for the Championship, really, 11% conversion rate. And, you know, we did well to keep them out because they got 11 shots and they didn't score from that. So we did do well. You know, I think the Bender save with his feet, I think that was their chance to score and they didn't take it. Although, as mentioned, we should have had a penalty. While we're here, shot directions, all through the middle, because obviously one striker up front. Shot zones, 11% in the 6-yard box, 44% in the 18-yard box, and 44% outside of the box. And you can see Watford, half of their shots were outside of the box. Very good closing down. I don't have the patience to get inside the box and take a shot, do they? You can see, look at only 26% of the action was in our third of the pitch. Player positions. Goodness. My goodness. What's he doing up there? Number 22, viewers, that is Adomo Maku. He's off and away up by himself. Is it 19 is Coburn? Is it not? 7, I think, is Ballo. So, god damn. Yeah. Putting balls over the top for Maku to run onto, I guess. Yeah. Although, what were Watford doing? 4-3-1-2? Or 3-4-1-2? Something like that. But they did change it at half time, which caused us no end of problems. So, let's move on. Let's move on to this. So, the match events. 1-0 to Millwall. Lovely jubbly. 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we scored. Free kick by Negley. Joe Bryan got booked. Only yellow card of the game. Did the ref have the under? I don't know. They made a change at half time, which was their goalkeeper. So surprising. I don't know. Did they just pull him just in case, or you would have thought that they would have pulled him before that, because he got injured at 10 minutes. He got injured when we scored the goal. When he dived for the free kick, he hit the back of his head on the upright. So maybe he should have said something a bit more. Maybe I'm seeing double. But then they did make a tactical change before we did. 62 minutes. We made a change which was injury related to some extent. If you haven't heard it, Adomo Maku was physically sick in that he vomited at half time, and instead of changing him, they made him go back out. And you could see that in the highlights, he was kind of sweating. It's like he's sweating a bit too much now. Hopefully, you know, why was he sick though? Hopefully it wasn't a virus or anything, because now like the rest of the squad are contaminated and they might get sick as well. Are we going to have an injury crisis where all of the, like, when was it Tottenham when the lasagna, was it them or was it Arsenal? No, it was Arsenal Tottenham game, but it was Tottenham with the lasagna, wasn't it? So they all going to get sick? Did he have food poisoning? Like, what the fuck, man? Did he drink too much? Like, did he drink two large milkshakes? I don't know. But then they made more changes, and they just started getting better and better and better. So you can see, you heard in the comments before, Alex Neil wanted to make the changes on the 70th minute. So he would have made the changes before they made their changes. So I don't know if they saw... Maybe he's confused. Maybe he wanted to do it. So he could have done it. I think he was confused because he could have done it at the same time they made their changes. Maybe he was going to do it, but he waited to see who they changed and what they changed. And then, okay, what did they do? Is what we were planning to do still the thing that we should do? Which, you know, that makes sense. But after that, that 5 minutes, they were, hyping it up. We make the changes, we change shape, we improve, and then they make like a fatigue change at the end. And then we make an injury substitute at the end with Leonard. So, let's have a look. So, if you look at the top right, top left, where the club badges are, Millwall, Watford. Mill's average player rating 6.75. For Watford, it's 6.4. That is, a bit of a difference there. Even though they got a player that had the highest score, 8.3. T, last man tackle. So for us, it was Kramer, 8.2. The only one with 8. He didn't. Pardon me. He did make the championship team of the week for that score. Everyone else, much of a muchness. Even though Luongo 6.9, 7.5 for Negli, he scored the goal. That's all he does, though, isn't it? He just scores goals. I mean, it doesn't run around like Coburn. Leonard 7.4, Bender 7.3. Yeah, I think I went with Bender, Luongo, Kramer. Yeah, Kramer. So I would pick one of them for the man of the match. Amaku 6.7. Not a bad score for him, especially since he went off early. So yeah, not bad. Did we have any stinkers? Well, Coburn 6.0. But he was up front on his own, So let's see who did what. 9 to 11 shots. Negli with 3. So, that puts it into perspective. He scored 1 goal from 3 shots. QPR had 3 as well. Possession 38 to 61. My goodness. On the ball mostly was Joe Bryan. 6% of the match time. He came off as well, didn't he? So probably would have been more if he stayed on. And then after that it's Luongo and then Cooper. Pass success percentage 75 to 85. Mazu Sakho with 86. Yes, the guy can play. So here's the thing. Do you drop him to the bench now? He hasn't really done anything wrong, though. I would argue in an away game it's even more vital that he plays, because not only can he pass and pick out a pass, he can tackle as well. He's shown that already. I think there's a lot more to come from Derek Mazusako. Now I don't know how they play in France. Do they do Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday? Because that's what's coming up. So maybe you have to look ahead to next week. We've got Coventry on Wednesday and then West Brom and Saturday. Both of those games are at home. So you don't know. Do you make the changes for Swansea, expecting it to be an easier game, and then you save your Will Smallbones for the Coventry game, which is probably going to be a harder game? So then you bring Smallbone in and put Mazusako on the bench for that? I don't know. But, Mazusako didn't look out of place against Crystal Palace. I think he can handle Coventry. But I think we got problems up front. Maybe we should just play 4 central midfielders. And no one up front. I don't know. What are we doing again, by the way? Oh, this is fast success percentage, yeah. Jesus, look at this. 91% for them. Cipriano. Sevlik. And that's for a lot of passes. That's not... you can argue that they're short passes, but damn, 91%. That is insane. And the keeper, obviously, they play it out from the back. The keeper, 92. So he did go off. But for us, Mazusako 86, Amaku 100. That's interesting. We're interested to see how many passes he actually did. That can't be right. He had 100% passing accuracy. They probably don't include crosses in that. It's probably literally, I'm going to pass it to this guy here rather than just whipping it in. Must be. Because maybe he didn't. Because obviously there's no one to cross to at the time. So I don't know. Dribbles 4 to 12. Amaku and Ballo, yep, they can dribble. Aerials 115 to 18. Everyone on Watford won an aerial except for the keeper, and Mendy. And for us, it was everyone except for Mazusaku, Negli, and Maku, and Bender. Kramer with 4, Cooper with 3. Tackles 23 to 20. Everyone on Mill winning a tackle. Mazusaku with 3, Luongo with 4, Kramer with 2, Leonard with 4, and Ballo with 2. How about that? Corners 7 to 4. These are the players who won those corners, not the ones who took them. Brian, Amaku, and Ballo, 2 each, and then Sturge with 1 as well. Dispossessed, having the ball taken off of you. Loser lost the ball. Hence the name, loser. For us, it was Ballo, Luongo, and Negli. So that probably explains Luongo's low score of 6.9. So now moving on to this, also from WhoScored.com. While we're here, so the rating we've seen 8.24 for Kramer. So how far behind was he from? Oh, it was so close. It was 0.02. 0.02. Yikes. That's how close he was. So again, Kramer 8.24. Centre back. Tristan Kramer, centre back. You think he's getting that score at right back? Probably not. Probably not. And then we've got Negli 7.4, Ryan Leonard 7.35. Again, so we've got one player with an 8 and 4 players with a 7. And then we've got all of these players with more than a 6.5. And at the bottom, so Langstaff 5.98, just below Josh Coburn 6.01. One shot off target from 27 touches of the ball. He got outperformed by Wes Harding, who didn't even touch the ball. How does that work? Wes Harding was on the pitch for 3 minutes, didn't touch the ball, didn't have a pass, didn't have a shot, and he gets 6.03. And Josh Coburn gets 6.01. How the hell does that happen? How does that happen? Maybe it's just you get a little bonus for being a Jamaican. I don't know. Everyone loves Jamaicans, don't they? Yeah, most of them. Caleb Taylor, 6.09. See, as you would expect, the subs coming on, because they have less time on the pitch, they get a lower score. It's not really reflective of anything they've done or not done. So yeah. So how many shots did we have again? Was it 9 or something like that? Yeah, it was 9. How many were on target? 2. Yikes, that's not good, is it? But to get 1 goal from 2 shots on target, that is good. That is good. But in 90 minutes of football, we only had 2 shots on target. You're not going to score many goals if you only have 2 shots on target. In fact, the most goals you can score is 2. That's science. That's a scientific fact. We only got 1. Okay. Is it worth going for any of this? Were we offside today? I don't think we were we? Oh, once. Langstaff, of course. Yeah, defence. Who did what? Langstaff. Leonard, Luongo with the most tackles. Again, going down. Interceptions. We haven't seen that. Kramer with 4, Luongo with 2, Negli with 2. This is getting stuck in. Clearances. Wow. Kramer with 10, Jay Cooper with 10, Leonard with 4, Brian with 4. How about that? Block shots. Kramer with 2, Luongo with 1. Jaffet who? Jaffet who? Tristan Kramer. That's who. There's a new name in town. So, there you go. Now, moving on to this, which is from fbref.com. It gives us a little bit different information. We're just going to finish on this. So, if you look in the middle, you can see the XG from this game, which, if you didn't know, is expected goals. And that's a score based on how good your chances were. How many goals would you expect to score from the chances that you created? And it was 0.7 for us and 0.9 for them. So this should have been a 1-1 game, really. But it wasn't. It was a 1-0 game. Hey. So if we go down, here's the timeline of events. Again, possession 39 to 61. Passing accuracy 72 to 82. We had 282 of 392. They had 508 of 616 passes. We had 2 of 9 shots on target, which is 22%. They had 4 of 11, which is 36%. And the keeper kept us in that game. He did keep us in that game. Or he won the game, helped win the game for us. Saves, 4 of 4. The keeper, Bender, made all 4 saves that he needed to make. Their keeper, well, it's 2 different keepers. I think. No, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's the same keeper. Because I don't think we had a shot on target in the second half. So we'll find out. We can see the shots at the end. They had 50%. So that was the difference. The keeper. Fouls 11-9, corners 7-4, crosses 18-24, touches of the ball 536 to 748, tackles 23-20, interceptions 11-5, aerials 15-18, clearances 39-40, offsides 1 each, goal kicks 7-8, throw-ins 17-21, long balls 64-70. Pretty much even, though. Pretty much even. So here's the Millwall squad. So who had the most XG? Jake Cooper, obviously had the most shots. Then Coburn, even though he had that one shot that was wide. And then Negley. So there you go. Shot creating actions. So you don't know what shot creating action is. It's there on the screen. It's the two offensive actions directly leading to a shot, such as a pass, a take on, and drawing a foul. A single player can receive both shot creating actions. Amaku, 4. Not bad, eh? For 66 minutes on the pitch. Then Ballo with 3. Then Joe Bryan with 2. And then Josh Coburn 1 and 1. He got the foul. So that's his contribution. He got fouled. They gave us the free kick. That thing he scored from. And I think Mazusaka probably passed it to him, didn't he? Or maybe, no, was it Coburn passed it to Mazusaka who got fouled? So they got involved in the goal creating action. Okay. So take-ons, attempted and succeeded. Maku 7, but only 2 successful. Ballo 4 and 2. And other than that, not really dribbling past anyone. That was it, just those 2. See more stuff. So passes of the ball. So apparently Amaku had 100% passing, which is not true because this is seemingly more accurate. He had 100% on his short passes, 80% on his medium passes, which is 15 and 30 yards, and he had 33.3 on his long, which is longer than 30 yards. So again, a little bit more accurate. It was actually 61%. Isn't that interesting how they got it wrong? So who had... It's all pretty much of a muchness, isn't it? So Mazusaka 85.7. Here we go. So he had 80% on his short passing, 93.3 on his medium, and 100% on his long passing. Okay. Pass types. Yep, okay. Defensive actions. Tackles. Number of players tackled 1. It's a small bone, 2 and 1. You only had 24 minutes on the pitch. Not bad. Leonard 4 and 3. And where those tackles were. In the defensive third, the middle third, the attacking third. Challenges. Number of dribblers tackled. Someone dribbling at you. Attempts lost. Small bone 66.7. Longo 33.3% success. Joe Bryan 100 and Leonard 50. Possession. So this is the thing that I like to look at is carries. Carries, distance, and progressive distance. So progressive distance is total distance in yards a player moved the ball while controlling it with their feet towards the opponent's goal line. Let's go forwards. Ballo, 228 carries for 201 yards, 104 of that was forwards. Just over half. Not bad. But here's the thing. So obviously a defender, if they get on the ball and they run forward, especially a fullback if there's no one in front of him, like Joe Bryan, he had 44 carries of the ball for 250 yards, 141 yards of that. What's forwards, as expected. But when you have a midfielder doing that, more impressive. Disappointing for Imaku, 144 yards, only 40 of that was forwards. But again, Saku, 19 carries of the ball for 78 yards, 37 of that was forwards. Not bad at all. Does look good, old Derek, doesn't he? So, aerial duels. We've seen aerial duels won, but what about aerial duels lost? So, here we go. Aerial duels won and lost. Josh Coburn, 1 and 4. That's 20%. That's not good. You're the only one up front. Ballo, 1 and 2. 33%. Luongo, 1 and 1. Joe Bryan, 1 and 2. Sturge, 2 and 0. Aha. Jake Cooper, 3 and 2. Kramer, 100%, 4 and 0. So not only did he win the most aerials, I think he competed in more, well, nearly. He competed in 4 aerials. Cooper had 5. Coburn had 5. Leonard had 5, and he had 2 and 3. So there you go. Let's have a look at the keeper. Shots on target against 4, saves 4, 100% save rate, post shot XG 0.7. So he saved over 4 saves, 0.7 of a goal. Passing, 64% of his passes were long, average length 43.6 yards, goal kicks 7, only 71% were launched, average distance 49.6. Opponents' crosses into the thing, 20. Okay. So if we go down, what are we looking at? Oh, so okay. Yeah, no, it was their keeper. Each one had a shot on target against them. The guy in the first half had a shot on target against him, didn't save it. The one in the second half, the English guy, he did, and he did save it. So it was 1 each. Here are those shots, as you can see. So you can see we had more shots in the first half. They had definitely more shots in the second half. And here we go. So Josh Coburn passed it to Derek Mazusaku, who got fouled, got a free kick, and then a left foot, 24 yards out of Camille Negley, scored a goal. And you can see it was a good goal because it goes from 0.09. So basically, that's the XG from where the ball is on the pitch. And based on where everyone else, all the other players are standing, once he kicks it, it's 0.42. It jumps up. So that was a good goal. Well, you've seen it. And then we have Jake Cooper 5 yards off target. And then now they're off target from outside the area. Josh Coburn off target, 0.17. So that, again, Cooper 0.22, Coburn 0.17, both off target, inside the area, 9 yards, 5 yards. Jake Cooper off target. They had a shot blocked. The save, 33 yards left foot. Negley blocked. Cooper again off target. Half time comes. Second half. We actually have the first shot of the second half. Off target, 21 yards right foot volley. And then it's Watford blocked. Saved. Blocked. Turno Ballo saved. 24 yards right foot. Saved from them. Off target. Saved. Now this was insane. This is the save that won us the game. 89th minute. If that would have went in, it would have been at least 1-1. Maybe they could have rallied and gone for the... there was about 5 minutes left in the game. 0.25 from when he kicked it, and it went up to 0.56, and it was saved. That was a save that Bender did with his feet. That was insane. And then Mazusaku right at the end, 25 yards out, right foot, just pot shot, got blocked. So there you go. That's the story of yesterday's game in stats. I think we managed to grind out that win. Probably should have been a draw. But, certain players stepping up and overperforming helped us get away with that one. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.